Why? As the high going to say, I don't got time for the hate. I need more time in my day. I put the ice in my bay, yeah. You riding on me. I get my drip overseas. Hey, niggas are hating on me, yeah.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Peace and blessings up on all my Akis and all my sisters out there. Welcome to Split Decision. I'm your host, Aki. To my left is no other than
Professor Nims, the pundit with the PhD in pugilism.
Talk to him nice. Don't talk to him twice. Now, his name is a professor for a reason, because he's a real lifetime professor. Now, Aki stand for my brother in Arabic. For the people that don't know, is a New York, saying. You're supposed to say it AKHi, but because that letter is not in English, it's pronounced as Aki in English. And obviously, in New York, they say Aki, so put y'all in game. That's another way of saying Migo. My condolences goes out to Patrick Day and his family. May he rest in peace. Boxing is a dangerous sport. That's why we got to take this sport seriously. That's why new media, we try to give credit to the fighters that don't get the credit they deserve, because it's a sport where, in any sport, all you need is one ball. Boxing, you need two balls in order to step into the ring. That being said, what you think about the whole situation of Patrick Day, and can you,
it's
talk about it?
I say all this with a heavy heart. So I've been keeping up with it. It's one of the things that is really dear to my heart, which is fighter safety in there, which is I'm one who advocates for the corner to be overly cautious when their fighter is taking a substantial amount of punishment. A lot of people think that it's the one punch knockouts or where the guy's laid out. The ones that are the most detrimental for fighters is those long fights where the guy has just enough power to inflict some pain on you, but not to actually knock you out, and then the other person has enough heart and just intestinal fortitude to kind of push through, and that's the most dangerous time, because that's repeated punches to the head, and basically your brain is kind of rattling around when that happens.
That's why boxing is more dangerous than UFC, because UFC, you could get a kick and get knocked out, but you could easily find a way out. You could tap and oh, it's a way out. You could be a Conor McGregor and turn your back on Khabib and get choked, and you find a way out. It's ways to get out. However, boxing, man, if you about to die, like Muhammad Ali, when he fought Frazier the third time, he said that was the closest thing to death. Now, if Muhammad Ali quit in the corner, they would have said he a quitter. They don't say there's no such thing as
that's going to follow him for his whole career.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why Muhammad Ali got up the next round and continued, and it was Frazier that couldn't see anymore because his eyes were literally closed from swelling. Because he took so much punishment. So, boxing is a very dangerous sport, and people got to take that a little more serious, because I hear a lot of people say, oh, this fighter is a quitter, that fighter is a quitter. End of the day, it's if you quit just because you gave up, that's a different conversation. Like a no mas, with Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard.
Right.
But if it's a situation where you're getting punished and, there's no way you're going to be able to win, it's okay for a fighter to quit. I'm not saying quit in the corner, but if his corner, stops the fight. That's why
sometimes
the corner is very important.
Your day. Sometimes you just pack it in. Professional athletes do it all the time. We've seen LeBron James have a bad day. We go to tennis, whether it's Andre Agassi or if it's a baseball player, they have bad. If it's a football player, they have bad days. Boxers are not allowed that opportunity to have a bad day, and it stays with them. There was an article on Patrick Day. If you get opportunity, the author escapes me right now, but the title of it was "Patrick Day Didn't Need to Be Saved." And then when the title struck me, and I was like, "Well," and I thought they were talking about the corner, but what they were talking about was something that I've dealt with too during my stint as a boxer. Is that he did not come to the sport as a way to kind of save him from his situation. He actually had a college degree. He's from New York. He's very well spoken, and he was somebody who just loved the sport. So I remember when I first started boxing, I started when I was in graduate school, and a lot of people were like, "Man, what are you doing? Like, why you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to box." And I was like, "What do you mean I don't have to box?" I'm like, I love the sport. I'm doing this sport because I love it, and that notion didn't enter into my mind frame until a little bit later that a lot of people, this is their way out. So they're looking at boxing to kind of save them. Yeah. And then so the article spoke about how he didn't have to box.
Yeah.
It was just something that he loved. It was a passion. And the same thing for me. And there was really nothing that going back looking over tape, there was nothing that I really saw that the corner could have done anything differently, the ring doctors or anything. It was just a tragic situation that is unfortunately a part of our sport that we love so much.
Sometimes, a fighter just has your number. Sometimes, a fighter is better than you, whatever the case might be. So, the corner have to be aware of these things and to stop the fight if it's necessary. If the fighter is getting punished, there's no such thing as a quitter if you're about to face death. This is a very dangerous sport. So people got to keep that in mind. Now, what you think about what, basically is ESPN, Bob Arum, and Max Kellerman been talking about, that if they having weigh-ins the same day of the fight, that will save a lot of fighters from having brain damage or going to a coma, because, the fact that fighters lose so much weight before the fight, and then if they didn't lose the weight the right way, it could affect them fight night. So that being said, do you think, like back in the day when it was, same day weigh-in, same day fight, do you think that makes a difference when, to save a couple of these fighters, if we can, and speak for a little bit farther from the mic?
Okay. Yeah. So, I think that's a good question. I would like to go to the science and
let's try to speak a little bit farther
and kind of look at it. So my view on it is that, so their argument is that these fighters are depleting themselves so much that their body is not really in the condition to take that type of punishment. Really, the human body is not built to take punishment in that way anyway, but that's why boxers are so highly conditioned and so highly trained. Yeah. So and their issue is that a lot of these fighters, to cut weight is usually mostly water weight, right? Yeah. So we're
speak a little bit farther from the mic. Get too close.
All right. Yeah. So it's mostly water weight, and the human body is about 70% water, and then particularly it's for your brain is very important when you are taking that type of punishment. So their reason is for that these fighters would not have to dehydrate themselves essentially to be able to make the weight, and then so it's less likely that they would sustain any type of damage that would lead to this type of fatality.
So do you think it does help if they actually fight the same day?
But the problem is that if you have to be smart in your nutrition, but if you that same day, if you just barely make that weight, right? Just say that you're kind of grown out of it, you don't have that 24 hours to replenish yourself with that water. So there's danger in both ways. So that's why I would like to see the science into it. What they're feeling is that the fighters are going to fight closer to their weight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And so if a fighter has to fight closer to his weight, then that would be the case. But fighters are not going to do that. They're always looking for an advantage.
Yeah. Now, see, this is the thing. If they actually do pull that off, let's throw a hypothesis right there. Just saying, okay, let's say they pull that off in the U.S. They saying that's only in the U.S. Now, if they do in the U.S., the other countries will follow. How about if they don't follow along, and then if you fight in another country, then you have the weigh-in is the day before, but if you fight in the U.S., the day is the day of the fight. Fighters is going to use that as leverage to win titles in different weight classes, like below and above. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to create more confusion to the sport if all the countries doesn't follow along with the plan. If you could go to a certain country and fight, a day before the fight, weigh in a day before the fight, then fight, and then in the U.S. you have to fight the day of the fight and weigh in the day of the fight, then it's going to create a lot of confusion, I believe. So if they're going to make that decision, they have to make that decision for, worldwide. That being said, it's going to benefit a lot, like, for example, like I believe a Floyd Mayweather will have benefited of that situation because Floyd was the type of fighter who, at 130, he will come to the fight only weighing 5 pounds more. At 147 or 154, when he fought Canelo at 152 at a catch weight, I believe that he waited at 150, and then the next day he woke up weighing at 146. So he was a fighter that would have benefited from that. It's just his skill paid the bills. So it didn't matter if his opponent outweighed him 20 pounds, he still found a way to win because he was just that skilled. However, a lot of fighters do use that weight advantage, like a Hurd, like a Canelo when he was back at 155. There's a lot of big welterweights, including an Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't think, if you could make the weight with no problem and you're professional with it, there's no problem. I just feel like, fighters do need to fight closer to their weight, their natural weight, because, even an Errol Spence stated when he fights at welterweight, he's not 100% fight night. He said, not everybody 100%, but he said he'd be like 70%. He said if he fights at 154, once he do move up, he's going to be 90%. That being said, I do believe that, fighting on the same day as the weigh-in, it will help a lot of fighters, take a punch better. They might not suffer brain damage, but at the end of the day, that's God plan. You can't stop that from happening. And, we just send our condolences to Patrick Day and his family. And Charlo, shout out to Jamal Charlo. He paid for the funeral for Patrick Day. Stay tuned, grab y'all popcorn and all that. And y'all saw last show. Me and Professor Nim. Professor Nim went at it.
I did want to say something, man. Like they saying that I might have bodied you, man. Is that
true? Hey, they said this show is split decision, but I knocked you out. Oh. That's what they said. Hey, Professor Nim was supposed to go out with me last night. He was a no-show. I had to check on him like, is my man in the hospital?
Not true.
You know what I'm saying? He a professor, but I'm about to be a doctor, you know what I'm saying? And go take care of him real quick. But thank y'all for tuning in to Split Decision. To my left, obviously, it's Professor Nim, a real lifetime professor.
I want to say it's Nims, too. Is with it. I got the name Professor Nims. But it's actually Nims.
It's Professor Nims, but today he came to my AKHi University. I took him to my AKHi University. Hopefully, he graduated. That being said, we out here, matching. Hey, we ain't out here trying to be looking alike and stuff like that, but he out here looking.
Shout out to Palestine also.
Yeah, this is from Yemen, man. We're just talking about Palestine, but shout out to Palestine too. You got it from Palestine?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I got this from Yemen, straight from the motherland, baby. Comment below who y'all think won the debate. Is it Professor Nim? Because he claiming Professor Nim's won, but we don't see him in the comment section though. But we peep all the Aki hashtags, so I appreciate all of y'all. Now, if you do if y'all believe Professor Nim won the debate, obviously
hashtag Nims. That's all you got to do is put hashtag Nims. Because everybody was just like, the guy on the right, or the hashtag Nims, and then, of course, everybody knows Aki.
But you know what happened, though. When you get taken to school by the Aki, you know what I'm saying? Yo, brother over here, you know what I'm saying, who bringing up facts back to back. I'm out here looking like Drake while you out here looking like Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? I don't got a ghostwriter though. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Russ. I write my own shit.
He got a whole team. He got a whole team behind him.
You know what I'm saying? It's all hard work and dedication over here. I'm looking like Russ over here. You know what I'm saying? We the wave, we the mob, we the movement. It's Aki TV, and y'all tuning in to Split Decision. And yeah, it's Split Decision, but y'all fans are telling me to change it to knockout because I'm over here looking for the knockout every show. I'm over here knocking out Professor Nim every time I get a chance to. And that's my man. He ain't even trying to go out with me no more.
I think my brother got CTE already, but like how many smart matches you been in? Hey, but one thing, we appreciate all the views, but also we appreciate all the comments, good and bad. Like I said, I love them. I like being the bad guy.
I enjoy the realest comments though. You know what I'm saying? Like I want y'all to bring up facts and you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, I know none of y'all want smoke with me because every time y'all say something about me, y'all didn't say nothing, but y'all hating on my drip. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, y'all ain't talk about anything that I'm saying that's wrong. Y'all ain't bringing up facts to contradict what I'm saying. Everything I say is facts to support my opinion. That being said, appreciate it to everybody that's tuning in. I appreciate all the love and support. and we will go live soon when we get things in order and together. That being said, Professor Nim, appreciate it. We had a great show today. Now, I believe I won the show. I don't know how you feel. I feel like $1 million bucks. How you feel?
I'm feeling like I'm looking, you know what I'm saying? So, Drip, so I'm feeling good, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good.
Well, I'm out here looking like Pretty Boy Floyd the way I'm out here with my defense. I'm out here being undefeated on Split Decision, baby. That being said, thank y'all for tuning in. Subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't. And listen to these casual fans. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live. And we outie.
Peace.
I see, shut I see. Yeah. Let go. Hey.
Why? As the high going to say, I don't got time for the hate. I need more time in my day. I put the ice in my bay. Yeah, you riding on me. I get my drip every